Hi guys, let's get crafting. Today I'm going to finish up the granny square at baby Afghan, and I'm going to show you how I attach each block to each section, each other block. So I'm going to do 4 rows across and 5 rows down. So what I like to do is do the 5 rows down first, and then connect the 4 rows together on the sides. So I have chosen to do the ladder stitch, which is totally invisible. You see, I used this color, this really light pink, and you cannot see the pink on either side. And I am trying to alternate between the tulip, Premier Bloom tulip, and the baby's breath. So that's row 4 or 3 right here. Now I'll show you how to do the ladder stitch. And what you want to do is get a yarn and a yarn needle, and you want to you have to find the 2 stitches that are in the corner. This stitch right here goes to this side. This stitch right here goes to this side, so we're not going to start on it. And this stitch right here is the corner that goes with this side, so that's the one we're going to start with. And I'm just going to go up into it and just tie it down with a regular knot. Just to hold it in place like that. Now the ladder stitch is you go in and in one stitch and out the other. So we're going in the same stitch we tied onto, we're going out the next stitch over across the bottom. Pull that through. Now we're going to take our other block and find the stitch we need to go in. This corner stitch is for this side, and this corner stitch is for this side. So that's the one we're going to go in. We're going to go in and out. All right, we did that. Now we're going to go back to the other side and go in the same stitch we just came out of. See the little piece of yarn there? We're going to go back in that stitch, in and out. Now we're going to go to the other side, back into the same one we came out of, in and out the next stitch. Now we're going to go back to the other side. We're going to go in and out. To the other side, we're going to go in the one we came out and then out. In the same stitch we were in and out the next one. In the same one, out the next one. in the same one across and out the next one, in the same one and out the next one. And you see what those stitches look like? They look like little V's. Now I'm going to pull. I'm going to pull on it. It's going to tighten it up. See? You can't see the yarn anymore. You'll want to pull on it every so often, about an inch or so. So we're on this bottom side, and we came in or out this one, so we're going to go in and out. In, out. Go in the same one and out the other one, the next one. We're going to go in and out. Just keep doing that all the way down. You'll know you're doing it right if it makes these little V's. Just like that. Now I'm going to pull those tight. It's almost like magic. Okay, now we came out this side. We're going to go back in this one and out the next one. In this one and out the next one. In, out, in and 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 out. Now let's pull that tight. See on the back. Now we're going to go back in the top side, first block, and back into the second block, in and then out. It's always in and out in the middle of the stitch. Sometimes where you end is a little difficult, so I like to go back and count my stitches. So this stitch is on this side, it belongs to this side, so we don't want to get that one. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4 stitches to go to, and this one's 1. Let's see, let's find this one. Okay, there's the outside, this side's, and then this. Make sure I'm in the right spot. Yep. Okay, there's the hole. So that is the stitch for this side, and this is the stitch for this side. That's 1, 2, 3. So let's just skip that and go right into this one, because that's telling us that this knot means nothing. All right. And go back to this side. And that's into the last one. And this is the last one. Now let's pull those tight. There we go. And I like to go back into that one and then turn it over once you pull it tight and fasten off. I'm going to hide my yarn first. Lock it in there. This looks good. All right. Now that's how it should look, because when we come back and put blocks on this side, we're going to pick up these corner spots that we left off. We're going to pick those back up when we sew this together. All right, and next I'm going to go ahead and finish this last row of 5, and then I will put another row together, or at least partial, down to where you meet this, and then we will work on the border. All right, now I have my long rows attached, just like that. So I've got 2 that I want to place together. This is the top row, and then this is the second. You know, like I've got 4 going this way and 5 going down. So what we want to do is get a long piece of yarn, which I usually like to do at least 2 lengths of what my project is that I'm going to sew together, and then a little bit extra. It's always better to have more than less. So we're going to start at the top. All right, just making sure you guys can see. All right, and we're going to do the same thing we did just to attach each one. So we're going to tie our knot here. Just like that. And now we're going to go in the first stitch, because this is the first stitch of this row. This is for this row. We're going to go in and then out the next stitch. There we go. Now we find the corner. This is for this edge, and this one is for this edge. So we're going to go in and out. Now back to the other side, in and out. In, out. Just keep doing that. This is again the ladder stitch, an invisible stitch. You can do anything you want to any stitch you want to put your blocks together. But I'm just going to show you the way I prefer. Most of the time anyway. You just keep going in and out. You go in the same one you came out of each time. See, we came out of that one. We want to go back in it and then come out the next one. Now, I'm going to close this up. Pull it tight. There we go. You don't want to pull it too tight to break your yarn, but just enough to hide the stitches. Now we were on that side, so we're going to go back to the other side. Back in and out. In and out. In and out. In and out. It is easier to do this on a flat surface, although most of the time I'm not. Most of the time I'm sitting in a chair watching a show I want to watch or whatever. But it is easier to do it this way on a flat surface. You don't want to go too far before you pull. Make sure you go in the one you came out of last on that side. All right, I will meet you back at this corner. All right, I'm to the corner. I still have a little bit to finish. And you should have the same amount of stitches on each side. So just keep going like you were going, in and out, in the one you came out of, and out the next one. And now we're to the last stitch on that row. On both sides. All right, tighten that up. Now, we want to go back in. We are on this side, so we want to go in on this side, not this stitch. We've already used it. So we want to go to the next one. So we'll go in and out. And then in and out. This is the one we want. It's in the corner on this side of it. We've already used the other corner. Now let's pull that through and see, there we go. Our corner is right there and it's done. So we go in and out the other side, in and out again. And we just continue that until we get to the next corner and repeat the corner area all the way down. And that's all there is to it. Pull that tight. And see? There you have the corners made. Alright guys. And next I will show the border. So I'm going to finish this up and then work up the border, and I'll show you how I do that. Alright, so I figured out the border I wanted to use, and I started working on it. And I started in a corner, and I'm just doing single crochets for the foundation of the border in Premier Basics Chunky, the color Thistle. And the border that I'm using has a multiple of 3 plus 2. So I counted all the stitches all the way around my border, and I had 278 stitches. So that's not a multiple of 3. So I figured out the multiple of 3 would be 270. So then I need plus 2, so I need 272 stitches, but I have 278 stitches, so I need to decrease 6 stitches. So on the long row I'm going to decrease 2 stitches on each side, so that'll be 4, and then 1 decrease on one short side and 1 decrease on the other short side. And for this border I'm doing a chain 3 or single crochet in the corner, and then a single crochet in each stitch, and I'm counting 20 stitches over and then placing a marker so it's easier for me to count to make sure I've got my stitches right. So I've got 2 sides done, and I'll start working on the last 2 sides. Alright, so I've already got 3 in this corner, and I'm going to start around the second. This is my 3rd row. I'm just going to do a single crochet in each stitch. And this is my long row, yes, so I'll need to decrease 2 stitches in this row. So I'm going to do them about the same distance apart, but not in a join. I'll probably do one here and one farther down. So let's get started. When I get 20 stitches done, I'll mark it with my stitch marker. Make sure I'm in the frame. And I am going into each stitch as opposed to going in the space. I'm going into this stitch and this stitch. I'm counting them in my stitch count. Okay, let's see how many stitches I have. All right, there's 20. right there. Okay, now we're to where we joined, and you don't want to go into these stitches that we used for this row. So we're gonna skip this area, and we're gonna go, since that's where we had our starting one for this side, so we're gonna go into this one. So we'll go from here to there for our next stitch. And I want to catch this little tail. There we go. And work that in as I go. Alright, I am going to decrease now. And I like to do my decreases in the space area. So what I'm going to do is make a stitch in this first one, and I'm going to skip this one and go right into that one. And I've got my decrease. See how many stitches I have. Okay, that's right at 20. Move my scissors, they're making a lot of noise. I'm going to place another stitch marker. If you were just going to do single crochets around and that be it, you wouldn't have to count. But for the border I'm going to do, I need to. Sorry, I'm moving around a lot. This is kind of bulky. Okay, we're at a join again. So we don't want to go into here. This is the last stitch we want to get. We don't want this one because that belongs to that row. We're going to go right here. And I'm going to work that in. Count my stitches. Place the marker. Alright, so see how we've got that coming out of this one? We know that belongs to this row. And that one belongs to this row, so we're going to go in this one. And I'm going to work that in. Alright, I need to make one more decrease. I'm going to go and do it on the next space area. So I'm going to make a single crochet here, skip this one, and then single crochet here. And then I've got my decrease for this long side. Alright, again we're at a join. We don't want to go into these two stitches. We want to go in this one. And count my stitches. Stitch marker. I'm going to play around with this color. I think I'm going to do white next, but I'm not sure. It'll be pink or white. I'm not sure. I'm not sure how many rounds I want to go with this either. Play around with that. With this being chunky yarn, it is more heavier, bulkier, so I don't want to add too much bulk to the edges. Alright, now we're to the corner and we want to do 3 single crochets in the corner. Alright, that's 20. Alright, I'm going to finish this side off camera. It's the same as what I just showed you, so be back in a sec. Alright, I've got all that done. Now, I figured out, after I counted them all, that I added wrong. Duh. Anyway, I did. It happens. And I actually have 356 stitches. Alright, so I worked out my stitch count, and what I'm going to do is do these granny clusters in half double crochets. So I started in the corner and I chained 2 and then double crochet 2, chain 1. Oh, I'm supposed to double crochet 3. Look at that. I guess this is the day I can't count too well. Goodness gracious. Yep, it's supposed to be 3. Getting ahead of myself. All right, so we got 3. And then chain 1. And then you're going to skip 2 double crochet, 3 half double crochets, and then next stitch, chain 1, skip 2 chains or single crochets, 3 half double crochets. And the yarn I'm using is actually a 5 bulky as well, but it's thinner than what the bloom is. So that's why I'm using it. Chain 1, skip 2, 3 half double crochets in the next stitch. Chain 1, skip 2, 3 half double crochets in the next stitch. Chain 1, and you're going to do that all the way around. When you get to this other corner, you're going to do the 3 half double crochet, chain 1, 3 half double crochet in each corner. And I'm going to work that out, and then I'll meet you back at the end. All right, I went all the way around. I had to skip 1 instead of 2 twice to make it come out, but that's okay. That's okay. It works out. All right, I'm going to finish up this round, and then I'll show you what I'm going to do for the last round. Be one more round after this. Right, now we're going to slip stitch into the top of the chain 2, beginning chain 2, just like that. Cut our yarn, and this is what we have. Now, if your row is, if your stitches are bunching up, or you know, then you've got too many stitches. Or if it's wavy, you've got too many stitches. So check that out. And make sure that's not what you got going on. Make sure that's what you like. That looks pretty good. I think it'll be fine. And I believe I'll go ahead and do pink, this light pink, which it's from Yarn Bee, soft pink, and my white was also Yarn Bee. All right, so now we don't have to worry about our stitch count anymore. That's done. All right, this is what I'm going to do with the pink. So this is a corner, and in the corner I joined and I chained 5 and I single crochet. I skipped 1 double crochet, and then I single crochet in this stitch, and then I single crochet in the corner, and then I chain 5, single crochet in the same corner, and then single crochet in the next stitch, let's see, that's right, I single crocheted in the next stitch, and then I skipped a stitch and chain 5, single crochet, skip a stitch, chain 5, chain 5, single crochet, chain 5, skip that stitch, and single crochet. And that's what I'm going to do all the way to the next corner. And everything should work out from here on. Since the last round we worked out our stitch count. So I would chain 5, skip a stitch, which that's the stitch, and single crochet in the next stitch. It's laying pretty flat. Just keep an eye on it. If you think it's ruffling, you can always skip 2 stitches, and your little ruffle lacy stitch right here will just be a little shorter, you know, more spread out. Skip that stitch. Go ahead and do it in this chain space. And that's what we'll keep doing. Chaining 5, single crochet, skipping a stitch, and single crocheting. Skip that stitch. We'll be in this stitch. Skip. Skip this stitch. Let's look at it. It's looking pretty good. What we want to do is just keep going till we get to the end, or the end of this row. Skip that one, single crochet, 5 singles, skip, I just skipped 2 just to see what it looked like. Yeah, I think skipping 1 is good. This is a little ruffle. Just trying to decide if I like it or not. I believe I like it. Or I'm going to keep going around and I'll catch you back at the end. Alright guys, I did almost the whole row of the fancy lace looking one, and I really didn't like it for this pattern. So what I decided to do was just attach with in the first half double crochet in the corner, just attach it and do a single crochet, 2 single crochets, and then 3 single crochets in the corner, and then just single crochet. I was doing in every stitch, but I'm skipping the middle stitch, the chain 1. I'm skipping that. So here's what I'm doing. There's the chain 1 space. I'm going to skip that and just single crochet in the first of the granny cluster, just like that, and then skip that space, and then just 3 single crochets in the cluster. Sorry, I just knocked the camera. Okay, 3 double crochets in the cluster, skip that space, and then 3 single crochets in the granny cluster. I think that looks tightens it up a little bit and makes it look really nice and neat, and ends the blanket with beauty. So I'm going to stop the camera and I'm going to work my way around, and then I will give you a picture of what it looks like totally done.